Welcome back to Bloodborne, and we're a couple of games. I'm Ivy.
And I'm Gabby.
And we're going to talk about visceral attacks versus backstabs. If you don't know
As mentioned in the last episode.
If you don't know what a visceral attack is, literally go to the very end of the last episode where I kill this bastard with one.
Okay, long story short, a visceral attack is a very showy attack in comparison to the rest of the attacks where you do a butt ton of damage. It's like a critical.
It is a critical, and to do them, what you need to do is you need to parry an opponent. To parry an opponent in Bloodborne, you shoot them when they try to hit you.
So you stagger them.
You stagger them, yeah. Now, in Dark Souls, the backstabs are backstabs. You get behind an opponent and you backstab them. You do similar damage to a visceral attack. You can also parry in Bloodborne.
Oh, doggy. Woof, woof. No! I remember you hating these dogs in comparison to the Dark Souls dogs.
I do. They're a lot faster. The movement for attacking in Bloodborne is a little bit slower, so it feels a lot rougher against them.
But, as we were saying, with Dark Souls, you can circle around your opponent until, their animation pauses, and you can stab them in the back, and you can take advantage of that. It's a little harder to do in Bloodborne. Because, you have to parry, you have to...
Yeah, and the parry timings can be really, really weird for some enemies. And some enemies are unparryable, particularly bosses.
Oh, bosses are unparryable? I never would have thought of that.
Some of them. I mean, Father Gossine you can parry. I still hate Father Gossine.
Yeah, but, Father Gossine is a humanoid boss. He's not like a bunch of the other bosses that you fight in this game, or any of the bosses that you fight in Dark Souls. He's not big.
Yeah, no, he's just a pain in my ass.
He's just good at killing you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be getting to our first shortcut of Bloodborne. Bloodborne, another difference between Dark Souls and Bloodborne, because that's what this is going to wind up being. Sorry if you've never seen any of the Souls games. We'll put PS3 out eventually.
The only reason why we're comparing between this game and Dark Souls is because they're made by the same person. They have a lot of the same themes and aspects. And they're very close games. There are a lot of differences between them, but the themes are so comparable that you can go, hey, Dark Souls did this, but Bloodborne did it differently and did it better.
Or worse.
Or worse.
I wouldn't say the themes are similar. The themes of Dark Souls and Bloodborne are drastically different.
No, they're not, technically. The difference is how the theme is portrayed. It is, in Bloodborne, the hunt.
That's
for, killing old hunters, ending the dream, continuing the dream. In Dark Souls, it's...
Oh crap, they're both on me. Okay,
the
give me a second.
hunt to kill the Lords of Fire.
Cinder. Oh, sorry.
Close enough.
First game, it's...
Regardless, it's kill the lords, the enemies, the bosses, stop the Age of Fire, continue the Age of Fire.
Yeah.
The themes are very similar, it's just how they're portrayed is very different. Your end goal is to either stop the thing that's created the game world or continue the thing that's created the game world.
So this is my argument real quick, is that they're both about hopelessness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The themes are very similar.
The Dark Souls world isn't bleak like Bloodborne. In Dark Souls, it's, here's a big-ass challenge, and guess what? You're gonna beat it. In Bloodborne, it's more, hey, guess what? Here's a bunch of challenges, and you have to figure out if you can beat them. Yeah. And I feel, in my experience and my playing, which, let's be real, isn't everyone's, I found that Bloodborne is a lot more about that absolute despair, the you cannot. Whereas Dark Souls is a lot more about the, hey, guess what? You totally can. Garman. Yeah, no, he's totally... Oh, you're right, no,
he
his
doesn't
hair's
have the
back.
bandages, and his hair isn't as scraggly, and he doesn't have the beard.
You were right. So he also, well, he has a cane, but that's not what he uses. I actually am, if I did a different build, and if I, you know, was gonna do it differently, I would totally use Garmin's weapon. It's fucking amazing.
It takes so long to get, though.
I know. I can't.
Why the fuck did you do that?
I accidentally hit it. So we get bloodstones to upgrade our weapons. Very similar to Dark Souls.
Okay, I wonder what that does.
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, he just teleports out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bull.
So that's that. So my weapon has increased a little bit. So we have some other things. That's a bath. These baths are used to purchase items for 2 different currencies. This one you use your blood echoes. The other one you use insight. Insight is gained in multiple different ways. We'll
like killing bosses.
Meeting bosses, killing bosses, and a number of other things. We'll show you. I actually have to go and get some insight, and guess what? That means we get our first boss fight.
Probably not in this episode.
Yeah, I could totally get to the beast in this run.
Another thing that's different between Bloodborne and Dark Souls is that Dark Souls has a lot more safe stops. Like,
yeah.
In Bloodborne, you have the lanterns. In Dark Souls, you have the bonfires.
Yeah.
Dark Souls has a lot more bonfires, a lot more places to stop and go, hey, I can go back to the place to upgrade all my shit.
I found...
Bloodborne doesn't have that. It plays into the hopelessness a lot more.
I found in my original first playthrough of Bloodborne, I'd spend about 20 to 30 minutes between lanterns or shortcuts. Dark Souls, I'm normally getting to them every 10 or 15.
Sometimes every 5 if you know the area really well.
Again, I'm trying to compare first run to first run. So this is another bit about the world. It's talking about the Healing Church, which you learn more about later on.
When the hunt began, the Healing Church left us.
The Healing Church is actually the entity that introduced blood healing. They're the guys who gave the blood vials, introduced you to the Yharnam blood.
Kind of like the first Lord of Fire.
Yeah, they are the equivalent of Gwyn.
And his knights.
This other guy? Not his knights. They.
No, in numbers.
Oh, yeah, no, they do have their knights. They have the sections of the church.
Yes.
But like.
So I was kind of right.
You were actually entirely correct. I was the one who was wrong. Which is ironic because you've never played or seen the first Dark Souls.
That doesn't happen very often. I was right on something I don't know a lot about. Huzzah!
So the ravens.
I hate these fucking birds. They're so weird.
Oh, these aren't the weird birds. You know the weird birds.
No. I mean, like, in the way that they fly and the way that they flap. It's very unsettling. You did not hit me. You didn't have to keep air thrusting.
What was that one? Oh, right, I don't have any items. That was an item use. I was trying to heal the same way I would in Dark Souls, by using an item, but that's not how it works in Bloodborne.
Pat.
I would love to try to figure out if...
Do they have legs?
The birds?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see, can I kick one of them over? Flop over! I think I saw some... Yeah, they have legs.
Okay, but they can't use them.
Or they choose not to, I don't know. Let's see.
That's gotta suck. That's gotta be really painful.
I'm going to need to put you... That's another... So, here's a really big one that I really don't like. In Dark Souls, when I'm in an inventory, I can use R1 and L1 to go between the two.
Yeah.
Like between slot 1 and slot 2 and slot 3. That doesn't work in Bloodborne. Also, I'm going to show you. There's the beast. So we gotta fight this guy.
Oh yeah, this thing. Where you were walking across the bridge and you're like, this is a boss fight.
Yeah, my first time I played this.
Is it a boss fight? And then you get to the end of the bridge just before the trigger point.
And then the boss.
And you're like, it's not a boss fight. Like, the boss would have happened by now. And you go, like, either to the left or the right, and the boss comes down and you're like, I called it! And I'm like, you thought it wasn't a boss fight for the longest time. Shut your face.
So you're gonna oil earn him? That did not work.
You did not hit him.
That's a shame. Okay, Molotov instead. So Molotovs are really effective against beasts. Hey, guess what? This guy is a beast. Oh, cool. I can I missed my visceral opportunity.
And you got fucked.
I'm all good.
You didn't die, but you got fucked.
Ow. Aha. Okay.
You got double fucked.
So I haven't completely wasted shit yet.
Are you gonna die?
Probably.
We're only halfway through the episode.
Hey, I've got to a boss fight by episode 2. It's pretty damn good. I don't know what that does. I'm always terrified of it because...
Terrified of what? When
goes
they
red.
screech and they...
No, when he goes red. He had a red particle effect around him. It was really weird.
Like his eyes go glowy and
No, he had literally red shit going rolling off him. I'll show you in the preview later. So I'm trying to shoot him in the head because if you shoot his head enough, you get a big damage bonus thingy.
Shit.
Didn't get the dodge off in time. Nah. Gonna heal again. Alright.
You're using so many of your vials.
Ow!
Oh,
crap.
get fucked.
I know, but I'll get the blood echoes to be able to deal with shit in a minute.
You run into a pillar. That was a weird camera angle.
Ow, fuck off, fuck off. Okay, cool. So he's about to enter stage 2.
Oh, Jesus.
He has no really noticeable difference between stage 1 and 2. Unlike a lot of other enemies in Bloodborne and Dark
He
Souls.
just gets super feisty.
Aggro, yeah. So I want to hit him in the face a lot.
Did his horns grow?
No.
Why is the church bell ringing?
I don't hear it. Give me a minute.
It only rung twice, right at the very beginning of his shift. It only rung twice.
You're gonna have to do the talking now.
Oh.
Pull a Danny. Pull a Danny. Or sorry, pull an Aaron. I'm thinking of Paper Thousand Door.
Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door.
Ah, crap.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Dude, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get fucked.
If I get
love.
fucked, I'm totally screwed because I'll have to go and.
Oh, careful, careful. You're on your last blood vial.
I'm aware.
You got one more Molotov.
Alright, here we go.
You gotta hit him like twice. There you go.
And now the explosion of blood. And
Love.
I am covered in blood.
Prey slaughtered.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So we're gonna return to Hunter's Dream, and we're gonna level up finally because.
That was a bitch.
So.
I think I did good at talking.
You did very good.
Yay. That was a horrible high five.
It was a very
The
horrible
doll's
high five.
awake.
The doll wakes up when you get your first insight. You get your first insight by meeting a boss. Guess what happens
So
when you...
Gehrman's technically, or not Gehrman, Gasai.
Yeah.
Father Gasai is technically not the first boss.
He's the first required boss. That boss isn't required.
Very well.
So you can go through more of the game without leveling up.
Not much. So I'm gonna hit 15 skill. I'm probably not gonna touch my skill stat again for the rest of the game.
Why?
I'm gonna put a lot of it into vitality and endurance.
You have to put it into vitality or you're gonna die a lot.
And that's the big difference. So if you ever watch me play Dark Souls, you will notice that I am notorious for putting the bare minimum into my vitality so that I don't get killed in one shot. That is where I want my vitality. In Bloodborne, I want my vitality to the point where I don't necessarily need to worry about having health anymore. Because of the primary difference between how you get blood vials and Estus flasks and the difference between the armor in the games on top of the difference between what was it? The healing items. So I'm gonna buy as many blood vials as I can. That's another thing that they do. They start making it so that blood vials cost more.
Well, the more of them that you buy...
No, based on progression. Which is, I get why, but I'm still disappointed.
You're allowed to be disappointed.
So I think we're just gonna open up the next shortcut and call this an episode. You got me to see me to actually beat a boss.
You haven't died yet.
I did.
Though, aside from the first death, that's kind of required.
No, I died again after that. I got killed in the central area by the giant bonfire.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, I actually was about to comment on about the guy's glowing eyes, and how I know he had my blood echoes, because I had to retrieve them. But I didn't, because we were talking about something else at the time. I don't even remember what.
Yeah.
But when you die in Bloodborne, there are two things that happen to your blood echoes. Or one of two things that happen to your blood echoes.
Either they fall on the ground and you can pick them up just like you can in Dark Souls.
Or an enemy goes, ooh, these look yummy, and picks them up until you kill them.
And their eyes glow purple.
Yeah.
Or red.
Purple. White, blue. Something in that general color spectrum.
It's a purple, white, or red, depending on the enemy.
Yeah. So this area...
Like if it's a boss, I think sometimes
bosses
red.
cannot pick up your blood echoes if you die fighting them. That is the one, exception. Bosses straight up can't.
It's the more powerful enemies that they go red. Like the lycanthropes.
Purple, I can't.
Shut up, doggy.
So, right now I'm just blood echo farming because I need blood echoes, because this game does not give you enough of them. For reference, again, comparing it to Dark Souls, because that's the most comparable game.
Ooh, item.
Doggo.
Woof woof. Nice dodge. Poor dodge. Shitty dodge. Stop getting eaten.
I killed him. I'm gonna blood vial.
Hello, dead body. Thank you for your stuff.
So, the primary difference between the two, like, blood echoes, in Dark Souls, I have never, ever, ground for souls to level up or anything, to buy items or any of that. In Bloodborne, I have been forced to, on a handful of occasions.
What was that?
What was what? I accidentally emoted. I sat down.
Okay, go back to the door.
What?
There's a person.
Yeah, she's asking me if I know of any safe places, and I don't yet, because I haven't gone to the two places that are safe places yet.
Oh.
Or, more accurately, I haven't gone back to the one, and I haven't found the other. But she's a right cunt, and she's gonna go to the one where I get shit, instead of just straight up saving her, because fuck her. But we'll do that. Probably will wind up happening in episode 4, because next episode will likely just be me getting to the point where I can
Alright, we need to call this.
But yeah, we'll do that
Dun 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 dun.
next time with all of you lovelies.
Otherwise, see you in the next episode.